Hey guys, welcome back. I am about to make my infamous salmon. This is just enough for me, and it's just a pan-seared salmon that I typically make. I always get a lot of questions about it, so this is going to be a very in-depth video on how I usually achieve my salmon. So I'm going to make a piece of salmon. I'm also going to make some asparagus. I think I'm going to make a little mash. Just me, so I'm only going to chop up one red potato and mash that up. But this will be more so about the salmon than anything else. The only ingredients that you'll need for the salmon will really be grapeseed oil. I use a small slice of butter, margarine, whatever you have on hand is fine, but butter is what I use. Black pepper. I use Tony's Creole seasoning. I use 21 seasoning salute. You can get this at Trader Joe's. I usually use red pepper, cayenne pepper, and I usually use garlic powder. Is that all? And for appearance and appearance only, parsley flakes. Okay, so I've already cleaned my salmon and patted dry. It's on paper towel. My preference is skin off, so I usually de-skin my salmon. I simply usually start at the thickest part of my salmon, and I usually put my finger underneath the skin and just pull back. But if you're not like a pro at it, you want to take it really slow, but your finger, I mean, look how clean this is. The only time I usually do have to use a knife is when you pass the seam of the salmon here and you start getting to the thinnest area, in order to not pull the salmon off of the skin and it not break apart. Sometimes you do need to use a knife, but for the most part I use my fingers to pull my skin off my salmon. So we pat dry. Before we do that, we're gonna go ahead and let's get our potatoes on the stove, since they're probably going to take a little longer than normal. Just FYI, I use a lot of paper towel. Please do not judge me. It's just a habit. So we're going to wash this red potato off. And let's slice up this potato. I don't really know what that is. I guess it's just from like growing in the ground. Whatever. Not a fan. I have a pot of water on here. Well, it's not on, but I have a pot of water here. And I'm going to just add some salt to that. You should always salt your water before you boil potatoes. That way, you don't have to add as much salt once you're like seasoning it up. So I'm gonna just add that to the water. And it again. Also, why not? Why not? I'm only gonna do a little bit because I kind of had a glass in my bubble bath. so I don't need much. All right. So to prep our salmon, I'm just gonna go ahead and place this on a plate. It's drained all the water off on here. And I'm gonna clean that up. Okay. Usually I start my salmon off with lemon. So I have a piece of lemon here. I usually just drizzle my salmon with lemon before I do any seasoning to it. I don't know, guys. I'm not a professional. Don't ask me why. This is just what I do, and it usually turns out amazing. Okay. Here we go again. Don't count. You will be offended. Okay, so I have our lemon on there, and since Tony's is a salt-based seasoning, I forgot a seasoning. I don't know how I forgot this. My favorite lemon pepper ever. Get into it. So I usually start with my Tony's, and I put a generous amount, but not too much. Let's see there. Probably gonna sneeze the entire time. For warning you. Okay. I promise you. Alright, so salt-based seasoning. Next I'm gonna do lemon pepper because lemon pepper does have salt. It does have salt in it. Only a little bit of lemon pepper. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to cut all these sneezes out of the video, so I apologize. Then I'm gonna use 21 seasoning. Oh, it's new. This does not have salt in it. To my knowledge, it might have sea salt in it. No, no salt. Great. 21 seasoning. I put this on almost everything, just FYI. And this is what we're looking like so far. This is what we're looking like. Very lightly seasoned. Okay. Next, I want to add spice. Little kick to it. Little kick to the situation. Very careful with this. I'm already sneezing galore. But I just like just a little bit of a punch. Okay. Black pepper, just a little bit, only because black pepper is already in a lot of the stuff that we're using. Lemon pepper and 21 seasoning has black pepper in it. Next, I'm going to use the garlic powder. This is the Aldi brand. Yes, I shop at Aldi. I shop almost everywhere. Okay, I shop at Aldi. I shop at the 99-cent stores. So, just FYI. Very gently on the lemon. I mean, on the garlic. Not much at all. So, we're looking like. And that's all we're going to do on that side. I'm going to place it in the pan, and then we'll season the other side. We're going to wait, okay? We're actually going to get started on our asparagus. Because once the salmon is done, I don't like the salmon to just sit. I'm usually ready to eat. So that we can do that, I'm going to go ahead and cook up the asparagus. We have one side of the fish ready. We have to sit everything on the side because I have to use this for the other side of the salmon. Okay. All right. So, asparagus. Alright, if you didn't know, you preserve your asparagus the best way it doesn't wilter by sitting it in water and just sitting in your refrigerator. If you look, this is perfectly fine asparagus, and I've had it, wow, how long have I had it? I've had it over a week, and it's not wiltered at all. Water. So I usually just use my measuring cup and sit in the refrigerator. However, when it's time to cook and I need my measuring cup, then I be looking crazy. But since I've had it that long, I'm gonna go ahead and cook all of it. This is the only piece that looks a little not together. So I'm gonna go ahead and trash this piece. Everything else looks good though. The base is off of, actually I don't know if I'm gonna use all of this because they look really good and I don't want that much asparagus. I might throw this in some pasta or something one day, so I'm just gonna cook half of it. So I'll cook this half. And I usually just cut, let me turn this way so you can see. It's kind of awkward because I like to cut the other way, but I usually just cut at least like maybe an inch. I don't know if this is an inch. I could be lying, but a half of an inch. It gets pretty stiff, and I usually cut off like that much from the bottom. Go to the trash, and then the rest I usually cut in just 3 parts. Cause I like for my asparagus to still have like a little bit of a bite to it. Oh, wrong one. Oh no, that was right. We're gonna do like a medium-high heat for that. We are going to do a little butter. Let me check these potatoes. They're probably almost done. Down our butter. I'm going to grab a piece of garlic. It's just one piece. And onion. I prefer fresh garlic, but you can use whatever it is that you desire. My preference is just fresh garlic. And I use a grater for my garlic. Alright, so my butter is, let's turn it down just a tad. Let's go ahead and add, shake the water off. It's a little watery. Turn that down. Alright. And I'm also going to add some asparagus. I'm going to add onion, and I'm going to add mushrooms. Alright. And I'm going to cut it again down the center. I'm actually going to add a very small amount of grapeseed oil, maybe like a half a cap, maybe, yeah, about a half a cap. Add some black pepper. About 3 cranks of black pepper. We're going to use a dash of lemon pepper. use some garlic powder. And we're going to use a very little bit of everything seasoning. Alright, and of course, pink Himalayan sea salt, about 3 cranks of that. Alright, check these potatoes again. Okay, potatoes done. Alright, now we're gonna let's add a little onion. Let's drain the water off of our potatoes, because I've found when you let potatoes sit in water, they lose their flavor. So I just drained that. Alright, onion. That's it. 2 pieces. Nice chunky pieces. Add that here. Add our mushrooms. And I usually use glass to break my garlic, so I smash it, loosen up the skin. We're gonna start tossing around this asparagus too. Alright, and then we're going to take the garlic and just grate it. Usually left with a piece of skin like that, but that's about how much garlic I get, and that's just enough. And we want to toss it around. Let's add a little bit more black pepper. Let's add a little squeeze of lemon. Just turn this up a little bit. Not sure if you noticed, but I added the mushrooms at the end because mushrooms tend to produce water. Give this a little swipe. A little more pink salt. And one more dash of grapeseed oil. That's what we're looking like, y'all. And you don't want to cook your stuff really low because you don't want it to get like soggy, you know. So we're gonna actually move this to the back. We'll put it on like a lower heat, like a medium low. Okay. gonna move this back here. Make sure this is more like medium high. We are going to add a cap and a dash, because it's not even a half a cap. I was turning that down some because I'm using gas, y'all. I'm used to using an electric, but learning how to use gas. Alright, so I'm gonna take our butter here. Get a butter knife. A very thin slice of butter. It's really soft, so because it's been sitting out. Let's put that back in the later. Alright. Some of you might be like, why oil and butter? This is what helps the salmon get the char that you are looking to get from it. I don't like my asparagus mushy, so I'm probably going to turn this off momentarily. I like mine still to have a little bit of a bite to it. I'm not sure about you. The last ingredient that I forgot to add that I usually put is, where is it? Oh, here it is. I usually put paprika, because when you use, like, when you get blackened salmon, it typically has, the blackened has paprika in it, and that's kind of like what chars up and gives it that really pretty color that you're looking for. Alright, so the butter's kind of browning with the oil, so I'm going to go ahead and add the salmon. Wash my hands. And redo the process. A little bit of lemon. I'm going to turn the asparagus off. I'm turning the asparagus off now. Let me show you what that looks like. This is what the asparagus looks like. Still has its texture. Alright, I don't know where you turned it off, but I just added a little bit of red pepper, and I added my lemon, my Creole seasoning, and everything that I added to the other side, I added it to this side. The only thing that I still need to add is my paprika. Alright, so we're going to take a peek now. Let's try to see what we're looking like. Looking good. Put my oil there. I'll leave that on that side a little while longer. Let's see. How can I help you? I'm sorry, guys. I don't have times for everything, like how long I cook it. The only thing I can say is I like to see white midway before I flip it. Alright, I think I'm gonna get ready to flip. I usually let it do most of its cooking on one side with the heat on. By the time I flip it, I let it cook for a little bit, and then I turn the heat off. You see that blacken? All right. Let me show you what we looking like. You see that side? We're gonna go ahead and turn this off now so that our salmon doesn't dry out. Let's see. All right, maybe not. Maybe a little while longer. We're just gonna turn it low. This is the important part. This is like where you can actually mess salmon up. So if you're like one of those cooks that tends to like walk out the kitchen and, you know, I'm sorry, I stand over the stove the entire time I cook. I do not leave the kitchen when I cook. I don't know if that's why it turns out the way it does, because I'm super attentive, but I do not leave the kitchen. But then again, I don't have kids and I don't have a family, so I don't know what it's like to have, like, you know, emergencies and all of that, or distractions. I don't know. Yep. Let's see. It's opening a little bit. Oh. So I can see it a little bit. I think I'm gonna flip it one more time. But I am going to go ahead and turn it off. Yes. I feel good about it. Let's turn it off. All right. Let's get these potatoes together. They're gonna be really easy. Like, they're not gonna be your like traditional super creamy potatoes. They're just gonna be some real fast skin on. We're just gonna mash. I'm gonna take a fork and mash these potatoes a little bit. Turn a little bit of heat on. Get the butter back out. Very modest slice of butter. Okay. And we're just going to continue to mash. Let's see how much salt. I can taste some of the salt, but I had a lot of water in the pan, so I don't taste as much as I would like. And we're gonna add just a little bit of cream. So they're not gonna really be mashed potatoes, they're gonna be smashed potatoes. Okay, and I lied. I'm gonna add one more slice of butter, just a thin slice.
What we do here is go back.
I want to say total that was probably about 2 teaspoons of cream. Only because I don't have any butter. I mean, I don't have any milk. If I had milk, I would use milk instead. Let's see. What we tasting like? Okay, I'm fine with that. Let's heat this up a little bit. Because it's actually cooled down. And let's get ready to plate this food. All right, we're gonna plate. Oops. Well, that shows you that it's not dry. Anytime it just falls apart as you plate it, look at it. It's hecka juicy. Salmon should flake. It should not crumble. If salmon is crumble, you are actually cooking it too long. It should flake. Maybe next time I can make like a lemon caper butter sauce to drizzle. I'm watching my calories, so you know, that's enough for me right now. But my moist pan seared salmon. As always, keep it chic, and that's even right down to what you eat. See you next week.